how perceptions and how we process info leads to conflicts. It all starts with a small message that receivers have a different perception, and is interpreted based on several factors that leads people to assumptions that normally are not or are exaggerated, are non-related, and will lead to speculation that leads to nowhere, that will just consume energy, will just create distance, and can create a conflict just because there was a wrong assumption, just because there was a wrong perception. So it all starts with the sender, with the message, and whenever you send a message out there, being your professional or personal life, you use your voice like I'm using right now, and you use your body language like I'm using right now, and your eye contact. Your eye contact, and of course the tone and the pace of your voice. So all this sends a message. It's not only about what I'm saying, it's how I'm saying it, it's how I'm conveying it, and how the whole package is in harmony with the message. So on your side, you will see all this. You will see how my eyes are relating to the message. You are watching how my body relates to the message, and how my wording, how my pace, how my tonality relates to the message. And you will select the parts of my communication that link to your reasoning at some point. So you will have some selective listening. There are some parts of my message that you will cut off and dispose. There are some parts that will, it said this and that, and we'll start already stop listening further and just conjuring about that specific word that triggered something in your mind. And you will start the interpretation process. And your interpretation will be based on experience, on your general and personal experience. No, not on what I'm saying anymore. So it's based on your experience. It's based on your background. It's based on your interests. It's based on your emotions and mood as well. So you see that there was just a small message, and then you capture a few signs, and you selected some parts of the information, and now you process it according to your mood, your experience, your background, your emotions, your expertise, your prejudice or benefits that you could have out of this, your confidence, your condition, how pessimist you are. So these are all things that will jump in to interpret what I'm saying, what your interlocutor is saying at any given point. Whenever you talk to anyone, this is how communication happens. Somebody says something, the other part listening, but starts filtering, starts observing, and starts interpreting, digesting the message according not what the other person said, but according to their own experience, background, interests, mood, etc., etc. So you can see that this can lead to all kinds of perceptions and assumptions that might not even be related with what your interlocutor said, but according to how you process it, this information and these small parts that you selected. And sometimes this process is almost unconscious. You don't notice it because we are always on the run. We are always short on time. We are always looking for the next moment. And therefore, when people talk, you are more focused on the answer, not even having listened everything and not listening what is underlined or what is really core of the message, but you are just want to next, and you are kind of interpret. Okay, you're saying this, saying that, you're saying that, and that, and you assume a couple of things based on your condition, and that can lead to a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of wrong judgments, a lot of criticism, expressed or not, but just based on perceptions, assumptions, out of your interpretation of a message that could be very simple from the very beginning. Makes sense? Again, try to imagine yourself, try to visualize yourself on a discussion with your peers, with your colleague, with your family, with your wife and kids. Try to see how the communication is going and how the flows happens, what is said by one part and what is understood by the other part. And so what's the best to avoid these perceptions and conflicts? Well, there are techniques that you will see further later in the course, but of course active listening, really reflective listening, really asking the other person, but this is what you mean, but you are saying this and that, is this correct? So confirm what the other person says, and don't try to jump in already in the next moment. Don't try to jump in conclusions before you really understood what the other person said, and not what you did interpret it from the signs that you mixed up between what he said and how is your condition right now. Interesting? Good, let's move on. For some people, it's easier to understand or to communicate visually, and the picture can be more helpful for them to understand what is said using a lot of words. So here you can see that sometimes what I think, so the starting point is what I think, the next step is how I put it into words, and then how I say it to other people, and then finally what the other people actually understood. And you see that there's a long way. This is a long chain from the start of the thought until the information is processed from the other part. And along the way, information will be missed, information will be misunderstood, and this can lead to conflicts. As simple as that. Look at the pictogram. I think it's very, very self-explanatory.